This video and all content on this channel is performed by a pest control professional, and it is always recommended to hire a pest control pro in your area to perform any pest control in or outside your home. Pesticides can harm you and your loved ones. Anyone who is performing the information in this video is doing so at their own risk. If you decide to try the info provided in this video, please always check with the local laws in your area and read the labels of any product you use. The label is the law. Hey everybody, this is Jason Akers again with Green Acres Pest Control, and today I want to talk about rodent control and why it is so important to keep mice and rats out of your house. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you really like it, consider subscribing to my channel. And don't forget, if you hit that notification bell, you'll be notified every time I go live, and I can answer your questions through a chat room type thing. I also have a phone number that I use where you can contact me and talk to me directly. I do this every Thursday night, typically after 9:30 at night, once all the kids are in bed. It's not a specific time. I try to stay as true to 9:30 as I can, but sometimes with kids, especially small kids, it takes a while to get them to get to bed. But anyway, let's talk about rodents. So this video was actually spurned by a false belief. So I hear all kinds of stories every day from different people all the time about, I had this problem, I had that problem. Well, you don't need to worry about this, you don't need to worry about that. And the one thing that disturbed me was I heard a guy actually say that you don't have to worry about the pee or the urine from mice and rats because it's not disease ridden at all. It's really the poop that you got to worry about, or the droppings. You got to worry about, you don't want to breathe in the air from the droppings or the dust or whatever. He was going on and on and on and explaining to somebody about how urine wasn't toxic from rodents. Well, I don't know where he got his information from, but even the Center for Disease Control, the health department, Harvard, all these different institutions have got article after article after article explaining why rodent urine is just as deadly toxic, if not more so, than droppings. And you want to make sure that you keep rats and mice out of your house, especially because they pee and they poop everywhere. The thing is that when mice and hantavirus, hantavirus is one of over 35 pathogens that mice carry. It is a respiratory virus, and there's not, as far as I know, really a cure for it. 150,000 people worldwide die every single year from the hantavirus. It is deadly. You don't want to catch it. It's spread through not only fecal matter, but also urine. Urine dries in the areas that mice frequent or rats frequent, and the urine will turn into a dust that will then become airborne, that you will breathe into your lungs, which causes the hantavirus to get root in your lungs. And so not only is it carried in the urine, but it's also carried in the fecal matter. And so the people that are in most danger of, inhalation of these particles are pest control, like me, or if you go behind and try to clean up after where mice and rats have been. So let's say you pull out an underwear drawer, and in the underwear drawer you find that the mouse has gotten in and made a nest in there, and they've gotten little torn pieces of paper and insulation and rags and towels, and you know how mice and rats will do. They tear up and they hoard all kinds of things, and this is one of the problems. So they're in your drawer, and you're like, oh man, this is awful. And they got the little mouse poop and stuff in there, and you're trying to clean it up and get rid of it. And you're just maybe even reaching in with bare hands. I would hope you'd wear at least leather, not leather, but rubber or natural gloves, something that is going to keep your hands from being exposed to the urine and the droppings. And so you go and you clean it all up, not even thinking that you might want to wear a dust mask or a respirator or something like that. because that's when these particles become airborne. So if you're cleaning up, like say you opened up a sofa, people have found them in their sofa bed before. In fact, we're coming up on the Christmas season. It's real common for people to have family over during the holidays. And during this holiday season, they pull out their sofa bed that hasn't been pulled out since the holiday season last year. And since then, a mouse has moved in and made a nest inside the couch, or worse, a rat has moved into the couch and pooped and peed all over the place in there. And then you're like, oh, this is horrible. I got to clean this mess up. So you clean it up. And you're exposing yourself to these particles, these dust particles that are created when the urine and the feces dry in a certain area. All right? You need to be very careful removing things like this. I usually recommend that people use a sterilizing agent to sterile the area. Use some, they make several different, I'll post links below, different products on the market. You need to be really careful. Always follow your labels, like I say in the beginning of every video that I put up on YouTube. Always follow your label of any type of product that you plan on using. And this goes especially if you're going to try to sanitize an area that mice and rats have been. I usually recommend hiring a professional to do something like this, because typically the areas are sterilized with lye solutions, which is not safe for you to either breathe in or get on your skin. It can cause your skin to peel off. It is a very, it's not acidic, it's alkaline, but it's very far alkaline to the point where it kills disease, bacteria, viral particles, things like that. And so typically what you do is, when you're coming in to sterilize an area, is you spray it with like a sprayer, like typically a lawn and garden sprayer or something like that. You spray the area, you allow for the chemical to dry, and usually you wear something similar to a hazmat suit when you do this type of procedure, and you spray the area that's been infected with the droppings in order to sterilize the area and kill the hantavirus, which is what it does. And then you wait the recommended time. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's several hours you need to wait. Then you go through and you clean up the mouse and the rodent, whether it's mice or rats, whatever. You clean up the droppings in the area that's been infected by these rodents. But let's talk about something you could do on your own to try to eliminate mice and rodents, mice and rats, chipmunks, things like that, from getting into your home this time of year. It's really common for mice and rats to try to get in, to try to find a food source or a water source, because, all the trees die back, all the plants, grass, everything's dying back, and there's no seed or anything for the rodents to feed on outside. So they're coming inside to look for food. So how can you help with this? Well, I did a whole series on mice a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. It's still valid information today. I'll link that right here where YouTube likes to put it, up there in a little marker, so you can go and you can watch that playlist. It's called Mouse Monday. It's about mice, and I had a video release every Monday, which is why I named it Mouse Monday. And so I go over traps, I go over bait, I go over everything that I use in my business. In fact, I link below my Amazon list, places you can go and find the baits and the bait stations and stuff that I plan on using if I were to ever do a mouse or a rodent job. So you want to use bait stations. You want to make sure you eliminate your mouse problem first. Whether you use traps or whether you use bait, whatever you use, you want to make sure that you kill the mice that are living in and around your home first. The reason you want to do this, and this is before exclusions, this is before you go in and seal them out, this is before you put out your steel wool or whatever it is you want to seal your holes up with, and the reason you want to do this is because you want to kill the problem that is invading your home. Mice are used to getting in the home. Let's say a mouse came in and had babies. Well, they're going to try to chew a new hole to get back in to take care of those babies if you end up sealing them out, because the babies don't have any ability to leave the nest. They're stuck there. But the mother is still going to want to take care of her babies. So just like if you were to lock yourself out of your home and your little baby is in there hungry and needs to eat, you'd break a window to get in the house. And so a mouse or a rat will actually chew a new entry hole. Squirrels are really bad about this too. They will chew new entry holes to be able to get in to take care of their young. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you have eliminated the actual rodent problem first. Eliminate the rodent problem first. When you're sure the rodents are dead and gone, Then you want to come through, use a steel wool around all the pipes. I know some people get on here and say, well, copper mesh doesn't rust. I get the best results with steel wool. If the steel wool starts to rust, you pull it out, you replace it with a new piece. It's pretty cheap, pretty easy to do. So that's what you want to do. And I've got videos, and I'll link that here too, how to actually seal mice out of a home effectively. I do this for a living every day, and I'm pretty good at getting mice out. In fact, I went to a house one time, and I broke my own rule. I put out the bait stations and I sealed the mice in the same day, which I never recommend ever, but the customer was extremely terrified of the mouse problem that she had in her home. She called me at 10:30 that night. I had to go back out there and pull that piece of steel wool out because it's the only hole that the mouse could use to get in or out of her home. And actually the mouse was jumping around on the countertop trying to get out through the window, because it's the only thing the mouse knew. The mouse could see the outside. It's like, the outside's right there, I can get to that. And they kept bouncing around in the window trying to get outside because the mouse was living outside. The mouse wasn't living indoors. People don't realize this, but most of the time when rodents are getting in your house, whether they're mice or rats, they're actually living outside, coming in looking for food, water, nesting material, and then they're taking that back outside. So if you go in and you treat a house and you seal a mouse or a rat in the house and they can't get back outside to their nest for the same exact reason, if you seal a nest in the house and the mouse wants to get back in, they're going to try to get back out too. And so you need to try to allow them free access in and out of the home so they can get into the poison, eat the poison, and die. Then once they've eaten the poison or got trapped or whatever you decide to use, I don't really recommend traps. I recommend poison because poison, it's what I've had the most success with, works the best. In fact, if you use the poison I recommend on my Amazon page, I've used it for over 30 years and I've never had a problem where the mice haven't taken it. Even rats. Rats are picky. Rats are really picky about what they eat, and they come in and they eat it too. I've never had a problem killing mice or rats with the rodenticide that I use. But anyway, that's another whole thing. The point is you wait, give it at least 2 weeks to a month before you seal the holes. Don't use great foam stuff, insulation, whatever. That stuff does not work. They will just chew a hole right through it. Use steel wool, and if you have to use that foaming insulation, put steel wool in first and then put the foaming insulation in around it. That way, if the mice do chew through the foam, they're still going to be met with that hard wire mesh that cuts their face up when they try to chew through it. They're not going to want to come through it. So hopefully this video has explained how to get rid of your rodent problem. We're going into the winter. It's another one of those things. Like I said, I have this whole new series I've been doing about invaders that come in the home during the winter time. Mice and rats are one of the most obvious things. I haven't talked about it yet, but it's one of the most obvious things that you do need to look into trying to get rid of, trying to get them out of your home. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you really like it, consider subscribing to my channel. Let me know in the comments below. Have you enjoyed this new series about wintertime invaders and things that come in before the holidays? Let me know. Let me know what you want to hear about. What do you want to know about? All kinds of bugs. I do what you want me to do. If you want to know about bugs or mice or rats or rodents or whatever, be sure to leave me a comment below. Drop by on my live streams every Thursday night and ask me there live. I'll answer any questions you've got. I'm pretty, I've been doing this forever, as long as I can remember, and I don't mind helping you out and giving you any kind of information and what's helped me, with my business. You guys have a really great day, really great night, wherever it is, whatever time it is, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in. I hope you're just enjoying life and preparing for the holiday season, and you guys have a real great one. Appreciate it, and see you next time. Thanks.